Hey everybody, it's Chainsaw Reacts, guys, the newest episode of The Flash Season 2, Episode 13, Welcome to Earth-2, just finished airing on TV, and I'm here to review / just talk about the episode. If you've not seen the newest episode of The Flash, Welcome to Earth-2, click away now. I'm going to be spoiling Welcome to Earth-2, the newest episode of The Flash, Season 2, Episode 13. Okay, I'm going to spoil it. Are you gone? Are you gone? Okay, let's jump into this humongous episode. Oh my god, so many things happened in this episode. So first things first, let's talk about that humongous Easter egg that happened toward the beginning of the episode, which was Supergirl. Now it all makes sense, everybody. It makes sense now why they announced randomly out of nowhere, the Flash and Supergirl, they're crossing over. It's not because of, because we're about to start filming it. That's probably one of the reasons, but this episode teased the hell out of it, okay? When Barry, Cisco, and Harry went to Earth-2, they were the only three that went to Earth-2, and they were going through the breach, and then you saw Green Arrow, and people are saying it's the one-armed Green Arrow from the future on Legends of Tomorrow that we'll see in episode 6 of Legends of Tomorrow. And then you see, I think the Flash, which was John Wesley's ship, Henry Allen's version. I think that was the Flash we saw, and then Supergirl flying. I'm like, oh! And then on top of that, they tweeted out that thing and say, "Did you see everything that happened?" And then the Flash tweeted out a GIF of that scene being played through again. You see Arrow, and then a version of the Flash, which I believe is the John Wesley ship 1990s TV show Flash, and then Supergirl. Ooh, it was so good, and it made me more excited for the crossover. It's happening. Oh my god, it's coming. I'm so excited. Anyways, let's get to the next thing. That was a pretty cool Easter egg, a really awesome one. Next thing we're going to talk about, of course, is Barry, Earth-2 meeting Barry. Essentially, this whole situation. So, people were giving some speculations that he was going to just become Barry from Earth-2, essentially. We weren't really sure what's going to happen because we see him dressed up, and we assume he's going to be pretending to be Barry from Earth-2, and that's exactly what happened. So, he basically became Barry of Earth-2. He actually stole himself, his Earth-2 version of himself, and they actually saw each other. But then Barry from Earth-2 just forgot about the fact that, hey, there's my doppelganger right there, because Harrison Wells is right there. Oh my god, I've read your paper, blah, blah, blah. And it goes on, and it's like, he doesn't even realize what just happened. You saw your doppelganger, but Harrison Wells is right there, so who cares anyways. But yes, of course, Barry Allen, our Barry Allen from Earth-1, takes the role of Barry Earth-2, which leads off into the next thing, which is Barry and Iris are married on Earth-2. This was a big, oh my god moment. They kept this hidden from the trailers. They didn't tease anything. We just saw images of Iris from Earth-2, but Barry and Iris are married. It's like, it's the ship people want. And they teased it in Earth-1, and then he went back a day before, so he time jumped. And Barry and Iris never got to kiss, and he never revealed to her at that point that I'm the Flash. And they finally gave it to us in a sense. From on Earth-2, Barry and Iris are married, which is awesome. Now, next thing, which is a very emotional, the feels. Barry's mom is alive in Earth-2. This was, emotional. And a lot of crying from Barry when he called his mother back, when he got to the house, which turns out to be Joe's house with Iris and Barry when they grew up. And that's their house, Barry and Iris' house in Earth-2. He calls his mom back. Ooh, the feels, man. He was crying. I even tweeted, the second tweet I tweeted out about that scene as it was happening. He needs this. He needs it. And it was emotional. I really love that scene. It's probably, my personal opinion, the most emotional scene so far in Season 2. Because I didn't expect it. I didn't expect, hey, your mom called. And Barry's like, and then he calls her and starts crying. Ooh, emotional stuff. A lot of stuff's happened. We're not even not to the villains yet. Let's get to the villains. Deathstorm and Killer Frost. This was amazing. Oh my god. So, to see them both back together as a couple is just awesome. And just to see the fact that Ronnie's back and he's Deathstorm. And there was even a little bit of a reference from Cisco that says, is Martin Stein in there? And then he replies saying, I haven't heard from him in years, or, you know, he hasn't been out in years, or basically saying Martin Stein is technically dead at this point because he is fully taken over. It's just Ronnie, nothing else, it's just me, you know, so there you have that. That was a nice little tidbit. But seeing Danielle Panabaker play Killer Frost was definitely interesting. She was menacing, and she actually killed a guy or two, and it was like, she actually killed 2 guys on screen through the chest, and then kissed some guy, and then his face, like, freaking just iced up and dead. So there's that, and the Deathstorm obviously shows up, and he's being all badass and shit. So it was cool to see Robbie Amell return as Ronnie, aka Deathstorm. And there was a couple bit different theories about, well, what if Ronnie technically didn't die from the singularity in Earth, and well, technically he died in season 2 because they showed it in season 2. But what if he merged with himself from Earth-2, and maybe that's what created Deathstorm? But apparently that's not the case. So anyways, continuing on, we get the reverse Cisco, aka Reverb, and this version of Cisco can shoot vibe pulses, I guess, out of his hand. He has a different hairdo, and he can do a lot more. And what's interesting, Reverb, the doppelganger of Cisco, has been observing Vibe. He's known a lot of stuff and saying there's a lot more you can do, Vibe, but you're not going to your full potential, which is pretty awesome. Now, this is where the big what the hell happened. Out of nowhere, the Flash is getting hit by Reverb, doppelganger of Cisco. Make that clear. You know, I'm saying that you've already seen the episode, you know that. And Deathstorm just slamming on Barry, fireballs and vibe pulses, and then Zoom shows up and kills Deathstorm and kills Reverb. So when we were all saying, well, Zoom's a menacing character, but he didn't do a lot in last week's episode with Tar Pit and all that kind of stuff, he just drops 2 freaking bombs and just kills Deathstorm and kills Reverb out of nowhere. Holy crap. That was epic as hell. And he kept Killer Frost alive, and then he stole Barry. And Barry's now in a cage similar to what Jesse Quick's in. And there's somebody else in the cage opposite. Like it's, okay, here's the cage setup. Here's Barry, and here's somebody knocking on a glass with like a face mask. And then here, so Barry, Jesse Quick, and then someone opposite Barry he's looking at for a brief second is just banging on this window with like a metal mask on or whatever. It's kind of weird, so I don't know what the hell's going on with that. There's probably going to be a reveal there where maybe it's Henry Allen from Earth-1, and I don't know. Who knows what's going to happen with that. And the last thing I did want to mention before we quit in this video, because there's a lot to cover in this episode, is that we get Deadshot Earth-2. This was a phenomenal appearance. Now, they already kind of teased it with an image, but we weren't really sure, and he is exactly the opposite of Deadshot from Earth-1, which is, well, we assume Deadshot from Earth-1 is dead, and Deadshot from Earth-2 is just Floyd Lawton, and he's a really bad shot. So that was really, really cool to see him return. I forget his name, Mike Rowe or something like that, the actor returning to play the Earth-2 version of his character. That was pretty awesome. I mean, they didn't have to do it, but they did it, and it worked, and it was pretty awesome. So hopefully he'll appear in the second part of the episode, which is returning from Earth-2 or whatever it's called. But it's awesome to see that this is a part 1 of the Earth-2 storyline. You know, part 2's coming next week, and I can't wait to see what they're going to do there. Anyways, I've been rambling for too long. There you have it, guys. That's my review of this episode. It was a phenomenal episode. There was a lot of jam-packed in here. A lot of great surprises, cameos, and some Easter eggs and stuff like that. It was just pretty awesome to see all this stuff jam-packed. I mean, literally, I'm going to have to rewatch this episode again to make sure I catch every little thing, because there was so much stuff happening. So, there you have it, guys. That's my review. What was your favorite part about this episode? Let me know in the comment section below. My personal favorite part had to be seeing Zoom kill Deathstorm and Reverb. I mean, came out of nowhere, and he just dropped 2 bombs on us like that. So, there you have it, guys. Thank you guys for watching my review, my very long review of this episode. Peace out, guys.